And just 2 days into the new year, and liberal celebrities of Hollywood are back at it. This time they're touting an anti-gun message in a YouTube video. We have left-wing stars, including Jamie Foxx, Jon Hamm, Cameron Diaz, all appearing in the video, encouraging you, the American people, to demand a plan from lawmakers to stop mass shooting tragedies. But this time, they're not getting away with their hypocrisy, as a gun rights group is mocking the celebrity message in a new video, which intersperses the actor's ultra-violent movie scenes into the original video. Now, please keep in mind, some of the material included is from R-rated films, quite graphic, and for that reason, we're only going to play a small clip from this new ad. Take a look.
Columbine.
Newtown.
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 How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms? Enough.
Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As an American.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. Enough.
Enough.
And here with reaction, Democratic strategist Michael Brown, and from townhall.com, Katie Pavlich. Guys, good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
Sean.
New Year, Sean.
It is ironic to get lectures on gun use from Hollywood stars that often have armed guards that are involved in these action movies, firing weapons all over the place, Michael. I think that ad's just pretty effective. I mean, it
actually makes me laugh. I could have sworn I heard you chuckling in the background.
I was? That was me.
Yes. But you know what I didn't see in that video, Sean?
Yeah.
I didn't see Charlton Heston standing up playing Moses and then talking about being the spokesperson for the NRA. So I think the hypocrisy perhaps goes both ways.
He's consistent in his views. He didn't want to take away gun rights.
But more importantly, I think, Sean, I think the issue is, of all the folks that watch these movies, very small percent, whether it's a point something, it's too many. But the bottom line is most people go in those movies for entertainment. They don't go out and act the way the movie stars act.
All right, but if we're going to blame the guns, Katie, and Hollywood is going to have all these shoot-'em-up films, and we're going to analyze video games, and we're going to blame the weapon as if they fired themselves, then I think it's fair, if we're going to get lectured, to look at what the message that they're making a lot of money on. They're making millions on these films.
Right. Right. The celebrities are saying enough. Well, I say enough to these celebrities. Look, they're hypocritical on 2 points here. The first being that we've heard a whole lot about the gun culture in America. And I would say that there's multiple forms the gun culture takes. And the one that Hollywood promotes is the one of disrespect and violence. And then the people in Washington take that and lump in 60 million law-abiding gun owners who go shooting for entertainment purposes, not to hurt anyone, on a very regular basis, and then they get punished for the actions of Hollywood coming out and having these violent films, and Washington thinking that law-abiding citizens are the ones causing these problems. On the second point, you already mentioned this, Sean, these are people who have enough money to hire armed bodyguards at all times in their homes and when they go out in public because they have enough money. And the person who was in charge of getting these celebrities to do this PSA was New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who is in charge of Mayors Against Illegal Guns. He also has armed security. And so what's good for them isn't good for the rest of the country.
And so do members of Congress, which, by the way, I think is appropriate. But it's interesting.
Exactly.
We protect our money, Michael, with armed guards. We protect our politicians and our actors and actresses with armed guards. But then they say they want to confiscate, in the case of New York, or register and fingerprint or print the names and locations of law-abiding citizens. Are you against the Second Amendment? Are you against gun ownership of individuals?
Well, no, you and I have had this conversation before, and I don't think I haven't heard anyone that wants to trample on folks' Second Amendment rights. I haven't heard it. No, when I say trample, I'm talking about repealing that amendment. No one has ever talked about that. What folks have talked about is putting responsible restrictions on that Second Amendment. For example, one of the things we've talked about, Sean, on a couple of occasions, is please give me a rational explanation why anyone needs a multi-bullet clip. No one needs that. Not even hunters need that. And so we have to also look at the restrictions relative to ammunition. There is no argument that someone needs some kind of unbelievable Army assault rifle in their home that can kill many people at a time. There's no rational argument to it. If you have a home intrusion,
you may actually need that.
So no one's suggesting you can't have a 9mm to protect you and your family. I'm suggesting, why do you need an assault rifle?
Law-abiding citizens stand by the law. Here's the problem, Katie. Doesn't murder or those that want to commit violence, that's a heart issue. If you want to commit violence, you're going to either find a fertilizer bomb, a knife, a tire iron, a baseball bat. Listen to what Al Sharpton said on his radio show, because I think this is very revealing about where the left is thinking, their mindset on this.
In any civilized society, you do not see massacres continue to happen from Tucson to Aurora to Columbine to Virginia Tech to where we are now in Newtown to Chicago, and you keep the same laws when clearly they're not working.
What happens when the criminal goes to knives, Al?
Then you deal with knives.
Oh, I see.
The same thing as if you have a head cold, and the same thing you do if you have a head cold and the cold is gone and you have a headache. Then you take headache medicine. The job of society is to deal with whatever problem confronts it.
We're going to have knife control. Everyone's going to have to cut their steak and chicken with a little plastic knife.
Well, Al Sharpton made my point for me. He said that the laws actually aren't working, and he named multiple places. The only place out of that list, Chicago, Aurora, Colorado, Newtown, that wasn't a gun-free zone was Tucson. And so the laws aren't working because there's too much gun control and people can't defend themselves. And so when we say that the left hasn't come out,
let's put
when the left absolutely the more people get concealed carry permits, according to FBI statistics,
then we'll have gun battles in the streets of our neighborhoods. Let's just have more gun battles.
Like in Chicago, where there's gun control and criminals are fighting each other in the streets.
That's not a great idea. Let's not put more guns on the street. We need less guns on the street.
It's a fantastic idea.
In Chicago, Michael,
no, it's not. It's not working clearly, so clearly it's not a good idea.
Check the FBI
feel safer
stats.
in Chicago with a gun?
I'm sorry, Sean?
Wouldn't you feel safer with a gun in Chicago?
Would I feel safer with a gun? No. You know what? I feel safe if there were no guns on the street. How about that?
So you don't believe in the Second Amendment, my original point.
That. No, people can have them. Responsible folks can have them. That doesn't mean you should.
There are 60 million responsible people every day who own firearms who didn't kill someone today. Is the criminals in the streets of Chicago without the training and without the respect who are shooting each other in the street, as you suggest?
No one wants to hurt their rights, but let's not put more guns on the streets. It makes no sense.
No guns on the street means nobody has one.